Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. This is Justice's Waiting Room, a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. Good morning, happy Monday. Have a fantastic day and week. One of those. Remember, every morning, instead of me sitting behind a image playing on my phone, hey, just listen to War if you get a chance.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
Now, before anyone judges me over my latest, I want to point out that I didn't point out that for like it was pointed out to me by my LGBTQIA plus friends that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are old school gay. So before you judge me for my last, know that I didn't just like come up with this is how to disrespect other men is to insinuate that they're gay. Some older gay men told me, hmm they're like the old school gay where they're gay but you don't talk about it and you would deny it. I'm not saying that disrespectfully, but it's pretty clear they're not doing good, right? Um, on one hand, excuse me, I think I pushed the button in time. Sorry about that TikTok. Um, on the one hand, Donald Trump's got Pam Bondi saying that the Epstein list isn't real. We all know that's a load of shit. Um, and then, of course, Elon Musk, the guy that has basically bankrupted Tesla, he's decided that he and the President of the United States are fucking enemies, and he's going to start his own political party. Now, I told you that this would be the death of the Republican Party, but what if I told you Elon Musk helped bankrupt the Republican Party by his technocrat buddies deciding, fuck the Republican Party? Because they'll sell us out too. Because they know Donald Trump is the type of motherfucker to sell you out. Yeah, the fight is to cover the fact that Donald Trump's trying not to have the Epstein list produced, and Elon Musk is trying to start his own political party because I think he realizes that even the Republicans, even the people that are like on their side, um, they got constituents to think about. They got re-election to think about, right? And again, I just want to point out that this is the Republicans being afraid of not being able to be re-elected. Do you think they'd be saying that shit? They're all stupid as fuck. Do you think they'd be saying that shit if they were going to cheat? Oh, we're just going to cheat and win elections from now on? Do you actually think that's how it was going to work out? Because those lawsuits are still moving forward. So yes, it's both things. The duality of life is that things can be both real and a show. Yep. And so no, to the surprise of no one, by the way. Mhm. I'm not at all surprised that it's very difficult to maintain a relationship when you're both high profile. Um, Especially when you're older and you're white and you've been seen as cis billionaire men. They're going to deny that they have ever seen each other. You know what I mean? Outside of a professional setting. So we're all going to suffer as a result. But uh, it is true. It is. I just want to point this out. Okay, I've had friends that are gay before, and they have dramatic ass breakups, and it is a lot of sobbing, uh, and a lot of me not understanding why you all broke up. Like, what he did? What he got an internship, and that constitutes a fucking breakup. What's wrong with you people? That type of shit. Decided to announce that shit to distract from Texas. Yeah, I mean, this is first of all, I'm so baffled for the parents on two fronts. First of all, how the fuck do you let your kid in an area prone to flooding just like go to these camps? I don't understand. One, uh, two, I can't imagine being a parent losing a kid. Uh, there was a story yesterday that gave a little bit of hope where there was like two girls up 30 feet up in a tree that apparently survived and that had to be retracted. And I hope y'all know what that means. Oh man. One of the things people don't think about when flash floods hit is disease. Yeah, disease. And what happens to your sewage when there's a flood? Think, 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 think. Backed up, right? So yeah, obviously my heart goes out to all the helpers, all the people. I thought I saw a true story where a guy saved like a couple hundred people with his helicopter in Texas, which that is the most Texas ass story ever. But yeah, dirty bad. Just so I've answered you directly, uh, I want to say it's both, both the show and real, um, and also meant to distract you. It's absolutely both. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about this. I think we talked about this yesterday. Students say the big beautiful bill, the student loan cap, means they won't be able to finish their PhD. Hey, Dan Adams, what's up, buddy? I'm just getting started. Yeah, that means we won't get new doctors, right? Or there will be a delay, right? And a lot of people have asked, like, how do I get involved here? One of the things that people do is they devil's advocates shit, right? And they'll come out and say, well, I'm not going to protest because protest doesn't work unless it's a daily protest for months at a time. And I agree. Actually, South Korea protested for 90 days twice and ousted their shitty fucking president. So yeah, yeah, that's called the Mayday movement. I'll put the website in the chat. 100%. There is a protest every single day in Washington D.C. Vietnam veteran. Good morning. Thank you for your service. Well, what is going to have to happen is colleges are going to have to basically give away PhDs now. There's no way to afford them. The thing that people aren't understanding is that not good morning. Not only are they putting caps on what you can borrow, you're not just gonna shit the cash, homie. That's not how not how not how it works. Um, Colleges are gonna end up giving away PhDs. Is what's going. Hey, universal education. I'm here for that. Okay. Payment plans are not great either. Nope. That's why you should stay enrolled at least part time, 6 credits or more. Just stay in repayment. Just learn shit forever. Just keep signing up for classes, changing your major. It costs way less. At this point, you're paying less in interest than you would just staying in college. And a lot of you need to learn some shit. That's what I learn. I learn every single day. Even smart people don't understand things like daily compounding interest, amortization. They don't understand that when you close a credit card, when you close it and it still has a balance, you're still paying interest. You're just paying less interest. Uh, yeah, I feel really bad for anybody, especially if your money is tight, especially if you're on Medicare, Medicaid. I worked in that industry for several years, helping people with their health care. And that's one of the reasons I got out of it, is because I saw it failing. I saw not people getting kicked off their health care because it's an annual award. So basically, what is going to happen is in the fall, 14 million people are going to get a letter that they're getting kicked off their fucking healthcare plan, and they're getting downgraded. Which means they're either losing Medicaid entirely, or their Medicaid level is going to go down. Yeah, which means they won't be eligible for the kind of healthcare that I think we should all have. This is what's fucked up about this. Okay? What I did for a job for years was help people enroll in healthcare that had no cost to them. And if they had Medicaid, enroll them in healthcare that not only costs nothing to them, costs nothing to use. And in some cases, those healthcare plans would give you hundreds of dollars a month for bills and groceries that they desperately fucking need. In fact, that's what they're calling in for. Okay? So imagine that you've been struggling, you enroll in this healthcare plan that somehow gives you a few $100 a month for food. And now you're like actually able to eat and take all your meds because your meds are free. And go to all your doctor's appointments and you're doing good, right? And on January 1st, all of that costs now. And that $300 you were getting for food, it's gone. So is SNAP. So you basically condemned poor people who were just hanging on by a thread to starvation. Either that or don't get their meds, which now costs money. Now, it is a double-edged sword because those are the people that overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. If you want to be demographically sound, the 65 and over crowd heavily favored Donald Trump. So this is them getting what they voted for. But it's not, this isn't what I'm not like happy about this. The death of a single person is still a big deal to me. It still takes me back a little bit. You said not me, and I said a whole bunch right there. So can you clarify that? Like you didn't vote for this, and it's gonna happen to you? Yeah, yeah. I feel real, obviously real bad if of course you didn't vote for this and you've been outspoken against this, and then it's gonna happen to you. Oh shit, that's fucking terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, it's like I said, it's like Hari Kari but lame. You know what people don't realize. Damn, Susie. But also, I think that they're trying to cover all their mishandling of shit in Gaza and in Ukraine. I want to make sure I use my platform to say, hey, free Palestine and Slava Ukraine. I saw somebody with a blue state flag in the background saying there are no innocents in Gaza, and we should just unalive all of them. And you're just like, what the fuck? I what? And it's because they've been promised like there's no negative consequences. I don't even believe in hell, but I can promise you if there's a group of people bound for it, it's the IDF. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. What are we even talking about? The people that have actually committed all of these terrible acts of violence in the Middle East. And the older I get, the more we find out. I had pointed it out that Benjamin Netanyahu, oh, our live access got removed. I wonder why. What did we say? Hmm.
Portion of Congress, the Senate, and most of the president's.
Hmm. What did I say to get banned there? Hmm. Because I said free Palestine? Yo, that's bananas. Let's hear what I said.
Some older gay men told me. They're like the old school gay where they're gay but you don't talk about it and you would deny it is to insinuate that they're gay. Some older gay men told me.
So the piece in question is where I said
Doesn't like it.
this feels like a couple of old gay men fighting, and an older gay man told me Donald Trump and Elon Musk are old school gay, and you're like, I don't even understand what that mean. What does that mean? Well, it means that they're like gay, but they don't talk about it. You're like, oh, and they would deny it. And you're like, oh, like they got to do everything else. He's like, yeah, yeah, they're lovers. Like, oh, so they're obviously having a lovers quarrel. Yo, you know what's crazy about the last time? I got I got banned the last time off TikTok. I got banned the last time off TikTok. I just want to point this out for saying, and I quote, "Who shows up to protest?" Question mark. The LGBTQIA plus community. I have been to several protests now. I've been to the veterans protests, the No Kings protests, right? Went to all these protests. Who shows out? Who shows up? Disabled people and the LGBTQIA plus, because they've had to fight for their rights like this whole time. I got kicked off of TikTok for that. When I appealed it, they didn't tell me I got declined off the appeal. They just stuck me for a week.
Just
Isn't that insane? But yeah, it's not hate speech to say I heard it through the grapevine like somebody told me. Yeah, yeah, an Oracle is gonna buy it and it's gonna be called M. Is Neptune in the App Store yet? So I think they might be renaming that app. So I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. And that was for something that happened like several minutes prior. It's actually great. If you really want me to tell you how I feel, it's actually great. It's great that an American company is gonna buy t- TikTok. It's gonna split. TikTok will keep TikTok's name, and then there'll be this M app. There's no way I'm using that. You get that, right? There's no way we're using that. And I just thought about it. Fuck. Uh, well, I just looked up Neptune in my app store, and there's several apps with that name, and so I have a feeling that's not gonna fly. And I wanna be on Skylight too, but you can't go live.
can
And
somebody
I'm happy for all the people that are like adopting short form. Um, yeah, it's just hard to. Yeah, Clapper. You know, and the thing about it is, I don't have beef with Clapper. If you look at Clapper, it's really diverse, actually. So let's go live there. It's it's uh it's really unfortunate how rich people ruin everything, right? Think about what TikTok and Twitter were doing. They were radicalizing people right and left. It's just the truth. You know what I mean? But yeah, the thing about it, we're ahead of the curve here. We're streaming on multiple platforms, right? Um, a lot of times people will be like live on TikTok uh, all the time. So you saw this, right? Like Donald Trump pretending not to hear a difficult question. I shared that, right? Yeah. Not what I wanted to get banned on TikTok for. Calling the president gay. Wild. So this tells me we're gonna get the Epstein files and Jack Smith's volume 2. Maybe Elon pulls some strings. TikTok was one of the heavy voices for Palestinian support. Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, like a majority of Americans support. It's insane. You got on there to follow Marianne Williamson. No shit. Check this out. Zeke. Uh, that woman, Marianne Williamson, is from Warren, Michigan. That's where my aunt and uncle lived when I was a little kid. I used to go to Warren in the summer. hmm Get away from the heat in Indiana. Yo, this is crazy. They're calling for Patricia Arquette is calling for the cancellation of the Olympics in the United States during her presidential campaign. Yeah. Here's a list of the people benefiting from alligator. What is it? Alligator Alcatraz. I'll read the company names. Public Safety Solutions, Lemoyne, CDR Logistics, SNL Integrated Systems, Williams Communications, WeatherStem, True Light, Granny's Alliance Holdings, Wilbert Integration and Elevation, IRG Global Emergency Management, KR2 Technology, Carasoft Technology, CDW Government, Lemoyne CDR Logistics, AC Disaster Consulting, IEM International, IRG Global Emergency Management again, and then Boys Schiller Flexner LLP. So there's a whole list of the people contributing to the construction of Alligator Alcatraz, as it were. Right. Morning, Cease. On this Monday morning. And you guys heard yesterday that the tariffs are bullshit, right? That all the comms regarding the deals, bullshit. We know that, right? All that is a load of shit. Okay. I can assure you not only that there is a client list, but that Jeffrey Epstein did not unalive himself. And the guy bankrupting Tesla, which I didn't even think you can do, is starting a political party. And he and Donald Trump are beefing. I want to make sure I share this again. A change in the Southern Ocean structure can have climate implications. This is surprising and alarming. It's out of the Southern Ocean. Hard to study too, because of where it is. And we did see that Texas agencies are blaming Donald Trump for this. Yeah, I did share in our Discord yesterday. It didn't come from Mark Cuban, so I want to make sure I say that. But I'd heard Mark Cuban was going to get involved with Elon Musk. Yeah, just remember there's no ethical billionaires, and I want to remind everyone that Mark Cuban had a lot to do with the Mavs, and he isn't anymore. And it's kind of like, now that he's not an active um, part owner of an NBA team, he can just be like all these other billionaires and shut the fuck up. Hmm. Yeah. Because if you think it's bad now, keep in mind, you don't get to be a billionaire without stepping on people's toes. Remember, I said that. Without essentially sacrificing other people. There's no way to become a billionaire. I think I was going to make that point the other day. People think, oh, I could just make $1 million a day. You can't. You can't do that, even if you tried. Mm-mm. Taxes, right? Well, Texas isn't going to screw California. California is going to withhold all its federal funds. Texas is fucked. Mm, yeah, and it's clear to me that Donald Trump's getting his orders from somewhere else. I want to say it's Russ Vought, as we know who it's not. And I don't think it's JD Vance. Obviously, it's not Elon. In terms of impact, I don't think Donald Trump is communicating with Putin often enough. So I think it's Russell Vought. I saw Mexico did come and help uh, in Texas and in California. Viva la Mexico! You know what I mean? I've been to Mexico. I love Mexico. Love the people. They're very nice. They call me Mr. Whiskers, which I'm assuming is what they call every bearded white man that walks through Playa del Carmen with a big dumb smile on his face. Because I was absolutely fascinated. Open air markets make my heart pitter patter. I love that shit. Like, I started a business and I called it Bazaar Grind, like Bazaar. Not bizarre like weird. A bazaar like in Istanbul. Um like a large open air market. That's just badass. But I'm not a peddler. I'm not I'm a to be marketed to be sold. I am a consumer. Oh, that's for sure. But yeah, Pam Bondi's under scrutiny after her comment about is a what? Bizarre grind. Yeah. Yeah, grind is like the name of the bazaar, and we were gonna sell coffee and like Italian ice and like locally made food. And I might still do that one day. That might happen too. But see, I have different aspirations, right? I want to travel and play competitively. So if I'm going to travel and play competitively and own a shop, it means I'm pretty much all either always got to be at the shop, right? Pretty much always got to be at the shop. But if I'm going to travel and play competitively, I need to be playing. I am, I think, 4 cards away. No, it was Bizarre Grind was the grind was the name of the business. It was a bazaar. It was gonna be like an indoor open air market, right? Where our main lines of revenue would be like coffee and like snacks, and then board game repair and sales, and then obviously Magic and Pokemon and for Warhammer 40K and all of the stuff that those stores carry. And then yeah, obviously when you open one of those businesses, you're hosting events. That's what those businesses are there for. In fact, you'd love to host an event every day of the week. Yeah, because that means guaranteed crowd, sales, right? And again, man, damn, in terms of the amount of money we would have made. Damn. But also, like, I really like sleeping at night. You know what I mean? Yeah, Texas has been turning more blue. People are waking up. Here's Mark Ruffalo calling out Joe Rogan, saying you're a little late when you definitely want to make sure you get off. Like I said, if I say something every day that we hear, you got to get off Facebook, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter, all of it. You got to get off it. They're tracking you. The people. that you don't want tracking you are using those places to track you. Yeah, and Indianapolis is super diverse. And once you get outside of city limits, it's like the fucking Wild Wild West, and you're just like, what? I've always like whenever you go to Colts or Pacers games, it's always a super diverse, open, welcoming crowd, knowing you're going to watch mostly black athletes, right? So like the people that go see them largely aren't your problem, but it's the people that like live outside of city limits that don't go to those games and don't like those sports, right? One of the things I noticed about MAGA stopped watching sports because they went woke. Meaning, by the way, which is a racist term. When a white person says that they don't like something because it's woke, that is a dog whistle for being fucking racist. Just so we're clear on that. What's funny is it doesn't normally take this long. I feel compelled to tell this story. It's one of the reasons I got into comedy, actually. I can't remember the comedian's name now, but he tells this joke about how he's been a comedian for going on 15 years and traveled the country and did it on his own. Like, drove himself to his gigs all across the country, going on 15 years as a comedian. He's really good. And he said, I had a hankering for some North Carolina barbecue. And I pulled off a I 95 and drove for about a mile. And I saw on the marquee, no N words. You get it, right? On the marquee in front of this business. And he stopped and got out of his car and he took pictures of the sign that said no N words. And he's a white dude. And he absolutely did not eat there. Because what the fuck? Actually. And somebody stopped and they said, are you gonna go tell him, take that shit off your marquee? And he said, no. No. When someone's brave enough to put that shit on their marquee, leave it up. I guarantee you it's not helping business. And now we just know exactly who that owner is. And the other person was like, oh, you should go inside that business and you should give that owner a piece of your mind. And he was like, no. No, 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 no. Leave it up. It's just like the fucking MAGA hats, right? Leave that shit on. Leave it on. So when grandma's out and she's driving around looking to cause a ruckus and she sees somebody with a fucking MAGA hat on, she knows that person probably voted for me to lose my health care. That's exactly what I was saying. It's a you stick out like a sore fucking thumb. But yeah, I love that fucking story because just the way he tells the story about he got out of his car, he was like, "Holy shit," and taking a picture like, "Holy shit!" This is a mile off of I-95 in North Carolina, and as he's getting back in his car, somebody stopped, like, "Oh, you gonna go in there and yell at the guy?" And he was just like, "No, don't you think you ought to take that down?" No. I want to know. I want to know exactly who you are, and you just told me before I even set foot in your business. And not only would I not do business there, but I'm going to use that situation to tell a story, right? Because once you put that shit on your marquee, it's over for you, right? Just like when Elon Musk's doing fucking Nazi salutes. And oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure Donald fucking Trump did a Nazi salute on July 4th. And that's why they're having such a big fucking falling out. And it's they're trying to distract from the fact, yeah, that Donald Trump gave a Nazi salute from the balcony of the White House on the 4th of July. Oh, by the way, the ICE, not the ICE, HR1 is now signed into law. Just so everybody knows, on the what was it, Congress website. And when you thought Marjorie Taylor Greene might be a little, sane, Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced the bill to tackle weather modification. Because again, she believes that liberals control the weather. Remember, when somebody says they're a Democrat or a Republican or a member of this America Party, ask them what their party platform is. And I bet you they don't have one. When I'm the founder of the American Socialist Party, which is a political party for everybody that's pro union, wants everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing, and believes and knows that the path to that is the federal legalization of marijuana. Either that or each state legal, legalizing and taxing marijuana on its own. And we've already shown in the states that have legalized marijuana that their tax revenue is so fucking high that you could have everyone in every state covered universal health care, universal education, major colleges, high profile colleges are already going tuition free. See, you know how important education is? The people that should be charging the most for it are giving it away. Fucking Harvard, the Ivy Leagues, MIT, University of Texas, University of Virginia. These are big, big universities that are giving away their education. And as far as universal income, that $500 every Friday, hey, if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. If you don't want that, you don't have to take that. I think that the government, given what they've put us through, should give us $500 every Friday forever. Hmm? Yep. I just think like you probably need to pay a bill or fucking buy some groceries. You know what I mean? But think about what that would do for the economy. If instead of raising the taxes on the poorest among us, what if everybody got a $24,000 raise? They've they've floated stimuli before. They've run universal income programs before. Look me dead in the eye and tell me $2,000 a month, $500 every Friday wouldn't fucking help you out greatly. And it wouldn't benefit your local community mostly because what you would be able to do beyond saving, right, having an emergency fund, you would be able to pay ahead on interest bearing accounts. Hopefully, you're getting away from that entirely. Make sure I use my platform to say, hey, remember how I don't ask y'all for money? It's because I have a high paying job. And my job is to help people get out of debt. That's right, I work in finance. So, hey, if you are living paycheck to paycheck and you are paying on, or you have things like credit cards, payday loans, personal loans, student loans that are just eating up your income to the point where you're not able to save, we should do business. You should get out of debt as fast as you can and stop paying interest, especially if you have student loans. Okay? Especially if you have student loans and they're not in repayment. Reminder that as long as you're enrolled part time, you don't have to pay your student loans. And hey, think about how everybody feels about um, education. The right fucking hates it. They're capping your ability to borrow. They don't want you to get an education. I think that means you should get an education. Hmm. I would love to see a president wipe out everybody's student loans and eliminate that from our vocabulary. You no longer need to borrow for school. So let's just eliminate everyone's student loans. If you paid them all, if you paid on your student loans, I'm sorry. Fuck off. Everybody's student loans are forgiven. Hmm? Education should be free. Yep. Hmm. Yeah, and Illinois is fucking rich. It's cash rich. Hmm. So that's great. I just want to point out here's Candace Taylor, who's currently running, she's a MAGA congressional candidate. She's running in Georgia for the House of Representatives. But I would rather you have dispensaries in your town than prisons. I would rather people mind their own goddamn business and smoke a little Ripple than be alcoholics, be druggies. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather motherfuckers be stoners, for sure. Shit, Bob, they're closing down all the Walgreens. That's what's fucking hilarious about them building fucking dispensaries everywhere is that the CVS's are closing. The Walgreens are closing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to weed, the black community calls that slow money. You can make good money selling weed, but you can make way more money selling like blow and shit. But I would much rather people just burn some grass. I mean, think about this. I'm 41 years old. I have never in my life taken a prescribed drug. I have no known health issues. Mm-mm. I'm doing pretty fucking good. I actively want to fucking be here. I'm thinking about putting up a basketball goal just to form a little community. I got like a spot in my front yard that I could put a goal up out on the bend in the road. Hmm. Yes, I did. That was a while ago, Ange. Yeah, it's wild. Let's see if TikTok said I'd come back or not. It's bananas. Hey, in a week? No, in 10 days is the Good Trouble protest. July 17th. GoodTroubleLivesOn.org. All over the US. Noon to 3, Thursday, July 17th at the Indiana State House. Good Trouble Lives On. Israel, yeah, Rachel Shapiro is right here. Israel uses Judaism and it uses the weaponization of anti-Semitism as an excuse for their genocide. But see, what nonviolent action is when they're identifying who these businesses are that are profiting off of this fascist regime. Yo, this is fucking nuts. Jury finds Australian woman deliberately killed lunch guests with poisoned beef Wellington. Yo! What? First it was 30, now 50, now 80 muerte in Texas. Oh you know for a fact while Donald Trump's in office, he's going to make sure he manipulates every fucking headline. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Uh-huh. The mushroom murder. Yo! You want to see that it's the end times? Unusual bee attack in French town leaves 24 people injured, 3 people critically injured. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's AP News. The prefecture of Cantal in south central France. Passers-by were stung by over a period of 30 minutes. Firefighters and medical teams are rushed to the scene to treat victims while police set up a security perimeter until bees stop their attacks. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, they're saying Texas floods, 51 dead. Oh my god. Have you seen there's this video of of these giant wasps, and person's got a full suit on, and they've got their like honey on their finger, and they've got gloves on, and these giant wasps are crawling over them, and they're trying to capture them, and you're just like, holy fuck, it's as big as your fucking finger, and they're like jamming it in a container. Oh my god, like, oh my god. Yeah, there's a bee attack in France. 24 people injured. 3 people critically injured. A lot of people upset about, or up in arms about, taxes on tips. Big bodies of water and bees are my worst fear. Me too. Me too. I was always hugely afraid of water where you can't see the bottom, or being out in like the middle of the ocean. Have you ever seen those videos of them dumping chum over the side of a boat, and you see all the fucking sharks violently tearing apart their chum, and you're just like, nah. And they said less of the ocean has been researched than the sky. So it's like we are afraid of water, and we don't research that shit. We don't really know what's down there. And every now and then there'll be like something on the bottom of the ocean in some deep trench somewhere, and you'll see this huge mass float by, and you're like, and what the fuck was that? That took 14 minutes to pass by. Jesus Christ. And then on this land, there's giant wasps and fucking violent bees. Oh, yeah. And it's gonna be hot as fuck. Just so everybody knows. It was hot as fuck this morning when I went out to walk the dogs. Immediately when I came in after walking Pam, I took my hoodie off. It's only gonna be 81 degrees here and rain today, but that don't mean it ain't gonna be hot as fuck where you are. Okay? Africanized bees. Yep. Ice sweeps are classic racial profiling. Here you go. Oh yeah. It was so fucking hot yesterday. Day before yesterday. Saturday. It was so hot that the dogs didn't want to be outside. That's that's how fucking hot it was. When my dogs that love to be outside, like when my dogs, oh, you know what I want to get? I want to get one of those giant shade creators. I saw the ones from India. You see them big fucking umbrellas? Yeah, the cool font come through. Yeah. Yeah, it's only going to be mid 80s this week. It was in the 90s. He said it's like a sauna here in Missouri. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I went to go reach out and there's a y'all bot. There's actually a 24-hour weather bot. Let me share this with you. Okay. So it's not Ryan, but it's like Ryan-ish. People don't like it when they listen to AI. That's cool. But here's Yawbot. Yawbot is a weather AI. Um, it's awesome. Looks like fire risks in the west, storms in the Dakotas, Dallas, Texas, specifically that area that was already getting fucked. There's still like storms. There looks like there's storms in the Panhandle, Jacksonville area, not Jacksonville, sorry, like Destin area. There are gonna be storms. Um, yeah, Killeen, Texas, getting fucked. Kempner, Texas, Lampasas, Texas. Again, I am not a weather person. Not a weather person. Um, do you have a pool for the pooches? Yeah, they got a little. They got a little pool. When it gets hot, we fill up the pool and play with the hose. The dogs love the fucking hose. They will just stand and let you spray them. They're just like, "Thank you, my body is hot. Appreciate you, fam." And like let you. They want you to spray them in the mouth and shit. They're about it. Put a pool around and they'll just lay in it. Yeah, they do exact. A little pool for the pups. Hell yeah. My wife has said we've missed making money on content with these dogs because we have three fucking dogs at a time out. Angie said Temple, Texas. No. So I don't know where that is. There's a circle around Gatesville. It looks like it's going northeast. It is northwest of Killeen, going northeast from Lampasas to Gatesville in that direction towards Dallas. But what I say, fire in the southwest and west, storms in the Dakotas, storms in that area in Texas and central Texas that's getting fucked. Uh, Storms, it looks like on the Florida Panhandle, that's like Destin area, and then it looked like storms in the northeast coast. That looked like Delaware, New York, Jersey, I think. And remember, I'm not a weather person. I just see that if I should be using part of my time here with you to also talk about that, so we don't have a situation where people die because they were unaware. Because I can't. There's things like, oh, there's also storms in Oklahoma City area. Okay, tomorrow, uh, from Wisconsin, Illinois, that 5, 6 state area, uh, Missouri is gonna get rain tomorrow. Tennessee, Kentucky, uh, Virginia is getting fucking rain tomorrow. Washington D.C., New York, all the way up to Boston's getting rain tomorrow. Holy shit. Uh, but who's actually getting rain tomorrow is looks like the Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, South Dakota is getting an inch or more. Is what is that state? Kansas, Missouri. That's gonna be Arkansas. Arkansas is gonna get fucked. Um, the East Coast from Charlotte to Boston's getting rain. They took away the concentration, the map that was telling us the girls' camp was for Christian summer camp. Yeah. Why didn't they build a boat? An ark? No. Too soon. I also think it was a shock. Like they didn't know that it was coming. And the area is also flown prone to flooding. So imagine being in a place that's prone to flooding, not being aware that there's a risk, and not being prepared, right? Like not actually being able to do anything about it. Hmm. 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 Yo, now I'm wondering how many people are actually dead. Empress Val said, "What's the name of the weather app?" So y'all bot. I'll put it in the comments. Val. It's on YouTube. It's 24/7. Yeah. Okay. Far as I'm concerned, when I look at the U.S., the from West Texas west, there's a fire hazard, and then, like if you just on the west 1/3 of Texas, if you just make a line straight up the country and west, fire. Central Texas, more rain and storms. Right now, they're tracking a storm in Killeen, and they've got which is northwest of Austin, Texas, southwest of Dallas, Texas. Okay, the city of Kyle, Texas, for the record. Look out, y'all. A lot of activity in Texas. There's storms in northern Texas, up there by Oklahoma. But then, like I said, the Dakotas, uh, just over the border in Canada, Ottawa and Quebec, they're having storms. Coryell and Lampasas, Texas. Flash floods caused by thunderstorms. So, yeah, I want to make sure I spend a good part of my day. Yeah, climate change is real. For the record, this rain is completely abnormal. So there's a reason I'm sitting here taking the time, part of this show, to also talk about the weather because it's so fucking abnormal that Texas, which would normally be in the middle of a drought right now, is having days in a row of catastrophic rain. Uh, Climate change is fucking real, right? Texas has had snow and catastrophic rain in like a 1 year period, and they don't usually get either of those things. And I'm allowed to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Is that right, my friends from Texas? It don't actually rain like that? Yeah, it just snowed. Hmm. Yeah, I don't mind heat. It's the humidity. Exactly. I can handle when it's hot and there's not humidity. I can handle it into the 90s, into the hundreds. It doesn't really bother me like that. I've been out to Vegas and I grew up going to Hawaii and stuff. Here we go with all the climate change summer storms. Yeah, remember, we aren't even to hurricane season yet. Rarely get tornadoes in Maryland, but in June you had your first climate change. Yeah, storms keep missing us. I keep getting lucky. Remember, Chuck Schumer's purpose in the Republican Party is to keep the Republican Party pro-Israel. If you wondered why we keep getting banned, it's because we say things like "Free Palestine," "Slava Ukraine." Mm-hmm. Is part of the reason. And we did say that the president and yeah, humidity. Yeah, I like I said, my first year coaching semi-pro football, uh, I saw my players like they were swimming in their own brains. It was the humidity. You get them out of the heat into the shade, get an ice pack around them, they're fine. But that heat, man, it'd have you swimming in your own head. You couldn't find your way out. In Dallas Fort Worth, it's normal to get maybe an inch of snow every 5 or 6 years. We've gotten snow 4 years in a row, up to 8 to 9 inches. Holy shit! Never happened before now. Yeah. Oh, remember I said this when Haya when they start putting people in that concentration camp there in Florida, and people start unaliving. Oh, that's all on Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump. It's on them. It's on them. See, we got banned this morning for saying that the president and Elon Musk are old school gay. The gay where you don't talk about it and you would deny it. And we're all suffering now because they're fighting. And mhm. And I wasn't saying it to be like a homophobe. I'm not afraid of, you know what I mean? I'm not afraid of this. I'm just saying, like, elderly gay men have told me, like, oh, they're gay. Hmm? And we got banned. We got banned on TikTok for saying it. Maybe we shouldn't have suggested that the president is gay. But yeah, that's why, you know, the Epstein list doesn't exist now. Elon Musk's starting his own political party. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think. I many I worked for a very popular gay man, and so many gay men have told me that Donald Trump is gay. Is like old school gay. Mm. And the reason we're all suffering is so he can keep that a secret. Yeah. Yep. TikTok. That just means TikTok's gonna die. Hmm. That's why I stopped making uh, original content on TikTok. Now, when I make a video, it goes on YouTube first. Yeah, generally when I meet someone and they're like a homophobe, I'm like, "Oh, you're gay." Because otherwise, other people being gay is none of your motherfucking business, right? But the only people I've ever met that should care about who's gay, who's not gay, is gay people. If you're a straight person, why the fuck do you care if someone's gay? The fuck? Mind your business, bitch. You ain't competing for the same thing. And that's because they can't compete with the people that they would be competing with. Hmm. Yep. And I also know women have more game than I do. So if a woman wanted my wife, I can't stop this. There's nothing I can do. Because gay women actually have game. Hmm. Again, I'm not saying my wife is gay. I'm saying, as a man, you call it pulling, what you're able to pull. And I just think, I'm not thinking about my butch lesbian friends. They're not as well kempt, but they're the pretty lesbians, the lipstick lesbians. They have real game. Hmm. Why you think they got a woman wearing? I'm making some generalizations here, but again, it's kind of funny. I was thinking of a pattern. What's the pattern? Women love it, but more specifically, like, because I don't wear it. I, I lost it. It's like the words on the tip of your tongue. Don't do drugs, kids. Or do drugs. Probably makes a joke funnier when I can't remember the punchline. But yeah, when to think about reaching out to Ryan Hall yesterday and found the flannel. Thank you. Squint. Damn. They got a girl wearing flannel under their thumb, right? That was the joke. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Don't do drugs, kids. Do drugs. Fuck it. It's funnier. Funnier that way. Thanks for the help. Come on, the joke was the lipstick lesbians clearly have game because look, you have like the butch lesbian wearing fucking flannel under your fucking the beat your ass lesbians like under your fucking thumb. Clearly game. It's still too early for clear thinking. Yeah. Remember to eat the rich. Keep your head on a swivel. One of the things we've noticed with climate change here already is that we're starting not to be able to identify the weather pattern before it strikes. So that's one of the things that has happened with Donald Trump and this administration is the National Weather Service is what a fucking letdown. 3, a little Eat the Rich. And by the way, today and Thursday, I think, are the risky days for weather. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pretty calm between today and Wednesday. But yeah, have a great rest